Hi, Jeanne Bobish here, and today I want to walk you through my latest mini album that I created. To make this album, I used the Die Cuts with the View Primrose paper stack. This one is a little different from the other ones I've done. There's not a lot of interior embellishments. This didn't come with all the chipboard tags and stickers and pieces that most of the other ones I did. Those paper collections came with more ephemera that went with it. This one didn't, so I kind of added my own little touches. On the front of this album is a butterfly that I cut out from the papers, and I added glossy accents to make it shiny. This, for the cover, this is a tag from the collection, and I don't know if you can see or not, but I added some glitter to the word memories. And the same with these little flowers. They were all hand glittered, and I added flat back pearls in the center. This part of the cover was done with one of the sheets of paper that had a border diagonally that ran across it, and I used that border to add some of the ribbon. And again, I used it down here on the binding, and I created this multi-loop bow, which also has a pearl in the center. Then I used a piece of coordinating paper for the binder, for the binding and the spine. And I had this pretty trim that I purchased, and I put a piece of the ribbon underneath it and then added flat back pearls to add some more interest and dimension. I think it looks really pretty. Then the back of the page, the back of the book is the bottom of the page here. See how it continues? And that's just the bottom of that sheet. Now let's check out the inside. The first page here, I cut out one of the little glittery butterflies. This flap opens and drops down, and this is a part of the paper that I cut out. This was 12 by 12 sheets of paper, so there were elements that were able to work and fit in parts of the book. Then this flaps up, and this was something that I had in my stash, but I thought that it went with the paper. This rose is here, and this stamp both have gloss on them. It came that way. And then I used a strip of the ribbon to match. This is part of the papers, and as you can see, the numbers are glittered. They came that way. And this closes with a magnet. And these two pages open up, and there's pockets, and I have two of the cutout pieces, one in each pocket. Now you'll see these spots randomly on the paper, and some of the edges look soiled. That is because this is distressed paper, and that's just the way it looks. Again, here's another piece of the paper. It came like this with this border and lacy trim. But that's a nice place to put a photo. And then it opens again. And like I said, here's another place for a photo. And you can use this paper. This is another piece of the paper like I have on the back cover. And this, because it's lined, you could use it for journaling if you wanted to. Then this goes this way. This closes with a magnet. Now this page, again, there's some of that distressed spots on there. And this flap opens like so. Here is the same paper that I used on the cover, and you can see how it had that glittered lacy effect on it. This is a cutout from the collection, and it had the butterfly already on it. And then this is another piece from the collection. And I added more ribbon here. Now this page opens like so, and then it opens again, giving you lots of room for photos. I added this pennant there from the collection. You could journal again on this page if you wanted to, and you can see more of the distressed, like tea stains on the paper. Then you lift up this flap, and it opens again to reveal 2 large pages for photos. And I put this little piece here from the collection, and it will hold either a photo or a little journaling tag. And again, there's more of the cover photo or cover paper. And the outside edge of each page has a very large photo mat that just fits inside the end of the page for even more storage. Now this page, the paper was a little plain, so I cut out the words memories from one of the other sheets, and I added another little glitter flower. This was a tag that I believe I had in my stash, and I added another cutout glittered butterfly. Then these 2 open up with magnets, and you have this 2 sides on both of them. Then it opens again, and you have 2 more areas, and of course you can journal on this paper if you want to. And then there's room for another very large photo. So this closes like so. Again, I cut out an element from one of the large paper sheets. This was all part of the paper. And this opens. Again, another element from the paper. It's all glittery and pretty. And inside here is a pocket where you could put photos or some journaling cards. Then this flap opens. And here's another page with some more ribbon. This again you could use for journaling or pictures, or put a picture and journal underneath it. That's a cutout rose from the paper. Here again you have a flap with another pocket. This was just a piece of ephemera I had from another set, but it worked well with the papers and in this pocket. And then this one opens up and you have more room for photos. Close these flaps. Again, on the end of the page is another very large photo mat. This one's pretty with the cutout from the paper. It gives you room to journal, and you could put a large photo on it. This page has 2 centered flaps, which each open to reveal more flaps and more places for photos. Again, this paper is ideal to use for journaling. And this side is exactly the same. So lots of room on this page for photos. Again, this was an element of the paper that I cut out, and I thought it made a pretty flap. And it opens up like so with room for photos. This I cut out from the papers. Room for journaling and room for another photo. Then this opens with a magnet, and you have room here and here and here, and again, journaling or another photo. The end of this page, you notice each photo mat is different, uses a different paper from the collection. This side I used the glittery diamond paper, which I thought was really pretty, and it opens like this, and this. Lots of room inside these flaps. Then I used a piece of the trim with the diamonds to close these flaps, and this is again with a magnet. It opens like so, and then opens again. And you can see the end of this paper is distressed, and I added one of the cutout pennants on that page. This page here, again, I cut out this element from the paper, and one of the birds. The bird, maybe we didn't get to that page yet, but the bird I cut out. And these can all be used for journaling or smaller photos. This flap opens like so. There's more of that paper with another pennant. This and this pennant were both cutouts from the paper. And this, I like this spread with the chandelier. The chandelier is all glitter and glossy, as is the diamonds. And then I added this cutout from the paper, and there's a little journaling card, or you could tuck photos in there, or whatever you please. And let's see, there's another journaling or photo mat. Here's that. Nope, that's not it either. But anyway, I used this section of the paper. I thought it looked really pretty on this flap, and I used the rest of the page to do this side so they kind of coordinate. Open this up, more room for journaling, and lots of room for photos. This was from another paper set I had, Memories, and I left that partially adhered so that you could put a photo or journaling card in there. This again is trimmed with the ribbon, and it closes like so. The last page, this was an element on the corner of one of the papers, so I cut it out for the flap. This is one of the cutout pieces, and this little card is from another collection. Here's more room for a photo and more room. Then these two flaps open. There's room for more. And then I added this really pretty cutout from the papers that you can journal on if you want, or you can just put a large photo there. So that just about sums up the tour of this book, but there's some other things I wanted to bring to your attention. First of all, I used a tutorial by Catherine Chapdelaine to create this book. However, I used my own papers and embellishments. She has a store on Etsy called So Much Scrap, and she sells wonderful tutorials on how to make these kind of albums. This will be listed for sale on my eBay store if you're interested, and I'll have the link below. This particular book is 6 inches high and 8 inches across. The other thing I want to stress about this book is that the cover is double layer 1mm chipboard. You can see it's very thick, And the cover is wrapped with paper. So the paper completely covers this album. Both the cover and the gussets binding system are all reinforced with Tyvek, which is, hold on just a second. If you're not familiar with what Tyvek is, if you ever get envelopes in the mail that you cannot rip open, that is what this is. You can't rip it for anything. It's super, super strong and sturdy. That is adhered to the papers in the gussets, and it is adhered underneath the paper on both the front and the back binding. So this book is really heavy-duty reinforced, so that it will stay bound and together for a long time. So I hope you like it. Like I said, you'll be able to find it on my eBay store if you're interested. Take a look. I'll have the link below. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.